Hello everyone, welcome to part 3 of Selling at Artist Alley for Beginners. Alright, so you want to determine prices for your work. You've spent a lot of time on them and you think you're finally ready to start pricing everything to see how well it will sell. So this wonderful person online made a nice little equation guide to how to determine how much you want to price your work. If you want to see this guide, I have provided the link down in the description box, so you can find the link there, click on that if you want a little more in-depth, but here's a little helpful guide. Now this person's equation goes, you take your hourly rate, multiply it by how many hours you've worked on, and then you add the cost of materials plus 20% material cost. And that'll give you a rough estimate on how much your asking price should be. Now, again, there's the hourly rate, which you can decide upon yourself, but some helpful hints for deciding your hourly rate. Now, while determining your hourly rate, you're going to want to take two things into consideration. One is how much experience you've put into your work, like how long have you been making prints, how long have you been making buttons, etc., etc. The other factor that you're going to want to put into it is how difficult your object is. How hard was it to make it? And again, these two are all based on what you think, though the person does suggest that you start at around $5. $5 is a good start for your hourly rate. And again, it's all up to you in the end, but this is just a nice little equation that has worked for me in the past about how much to charge people for this work. Some in general ideas for how much you should price your work though. Prints are usually about $8 based on several cons that I've been to. Pins are usually about $1 to $2, that's up to you. Wigs depend on this rate, really. It all really depends on how much you think it's going to be worth. Though usually wigs can be about $50, $30 to $50, sometimes $20. And of course your print prices can be determined by how much coloring and like if you did it in black and white or in color or what materials you've used. Again, look at the equation. Full cosplays can get really expensive, and that also goes with props. And it can go from $50 if it's very minimal to into the hundreds of dollars if you spent a lot of time on it. Again, use the equation that I have provided. It can be very helpful for determining for more bigger things like costumes and props and wigs. So that was part 3 of my guide for Artist Alley for Beginners. Stick around for part 4 when we talk about commissions.